Welcome to Springy Graphs, an add-on for Google Slides to create network graphs. You connect graphs by selecting 1, 2, connect, 1, 2, connect. Let's add another node here, and I can move things around myself if I don't like what the algorithm is doing. To modify nodes, individual nodes, you go to Properties, and you have tons of settings here. Let's change the title of this one to be D, and the subtitle to be something. And I can change the style of the titles, the subtitles, etc. If I select an edge, this one changes. I can change the arrowhead, for example. I can also work on styles. So if I select something here, go to Node Styles, you can see I have 6 different styles to choose from. This is the default style with the round corners. If I want to change the style, I go up here and say Modify Style. And I want to make the title, for example, 16 pixels. I can make it red. And click OK. All styles are changed. The same goes for connectors. If I go to connector styles, I have 6 different connector styles to choose from. I can modify the default one. Let's say I want to have green 3 pixel wide connectors. If I want to change one edge to a certain style, I just select it and go down and click here. I can also add images to the nodes. If I want to have an image here, I say select node image. I can choose from hard drive, Google Drive, webcam, and Google Photos. But an easier way sometimes is to just drag and drop from my Windows desktop. So here is an image. Drop it there. Take another one. Drop it here. And let's do one more here over here. If I don't like where the image is placed, let's say I want it above the text, I go and modify the style. I want to go to image style here. I want to say that the should be above text. And when I'm done configuring my graph, let's say I want to also move things around a little bit. I go up to the Create Image button. This will generate a PNG image, and I can decide what to do with it. If insert it as an image into the current slide, or use it as the slide background. Let's say I want to insert it as an image. This will now save the Springy Graphs project to your Google Drive, so you can reopen and configure the graph later. So here it is, my strange looking graph in Google Slides. If you have a graph and you want to start over, go to File, New Graph, specify the size you want, and you get a new almost empty graph. You can go and resize it again to make it smaller. And let's say you want to let's add a few nodes here so I can get to this display what I really mean here. I add a few nodes, connect these two, for example. You can then actually create a GIF that displays how the graph is being laid out. I go to File and say Create GIF, specify the size, and then Create GIF. So then the add-on creates animation frames for each of the frames, and you will end up with a pretty large GIF. So here is the final GIF. You can see it's now at the very end of the layout, and it will restart in a second or two. There it is. So now you can do the same thing. You can insert it as an image into your slide, or use this animation as your slide background. Other things you can play around with is you can quickly change colors by opening the colors sidebar. Go to a different color list in this case, and I can just drag and drop to say I want that to be the node background, I want this to be the node text color, or I drop and say I want this to be the style background color, changes all the nodes, and this to be the style text color. Other things you can do, let's close this color sidebar and say I want to see all the sidebar options. You can work with gradients, and let's say I want to have this noon to dusk gradient. I can just say I want this to be the document background gradient. Then I can go back to properties, go to document properties, go to the background. I can then actually change the gradient here. I want to make to be a radial, and I can reverse colors. I can do all kinds of things here. So that kind of concludes this short intro. There are many more things you can fool around with. Please also have a look in the Docs365 apps section, where you can see all our apps and add-ons. And if you want to know more about Springy graphs and what's happening, check out our YouTube channel or follow us at Instagram, and open the About page for Springy graphs. Thank you so much, and thank you for watching. Thank you for listening.